guys, look, Ben Askren and Jake Paul box tonight. There's a big boxing match. It's on pay-per-view. We're all going to buy it. We're all going to watch it. We're all going to have a good time. I really hope it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Ben Askren, even though he's a retired MMA fighter, he's 12 years older than Jake Paul, and he was a wrestling MMA fighter, so he really was never known for, striking blows. I really hope that he puts up a really good fight against Jake Paul. I know Jake Paul's a really good fighter. I think this is going to be a nice 12 to 15-minute bout. I think it's going to be a really nice fight. I think everybody's going to be respectful. And I'm going to waste my damn money, my hard-earned money, on a Jake Paul event. Number one, that's the last thing I will ever do, is waste money to watch Jake Paul do anything, or either of the Pauls. That's the last thing I will ever do with my hard-earned money. Second last thing I will ever do with my hard-earned money is pay for one of these damn fights that lasts a total of 30 seconds when I can go on Twitter as soon as it's over and see the entire damn thing, or better yet, I can watch it live through somebody's pirated stream. Yep, for some reason, people still fund these damn events. I don't know why. The only reason they happen is because people watch them. I don't know why people watch this shit. It just... Why can't people pay me $1 million to, get a minor concussion and to fight Jake Paul? Like, I want to get paid to do nothing. Like, why? What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video, and this is not my typical type of content. I don't really talk about this kind of stuff ever, and to be quite honest with you, I don't really watch boxing. I don't watch MMA fighting or UFC. I don't really watch any of that. It doesn't entertain me all that much. But I just could not help but stick my nose into the business that was this Ben Askren and Jake Paul boxing match that was last night. Another one of these boxing matches that were just so overhyped, that it was built up to be such a big thing. People wait all night for it. They wait and watch all the undercards. They wait for this damn fight, and it's so hyped up, and people bet on it and all this bullshit, and it just lives up to be the dumbest damn thing that you could possibly lay your eyes on. Two ways I'm going to talk about this fight. And the number one way, which I think everybody is pretty much realizing at this point, is this fight was probably rigged in so many different forms and fashions. All right, Ben Askren was literally seen after the fight walking away with his girl hugging him, and he's literally smiling. Like, he's not bleeding or anything. The dude's literally smiling, walking away after he just got one punch in the head, KO'd, and it's over. Like he's literally smiling. If that's not enough to tell you that this dude does not care and he was just there to get paid, I don't know what else there is to tell you. Like, this guy had nothing to gain from this fight whatsoever other than, a couple $1 million. So yeah, if you don't think this shit is rigged, you just gotta wake up. I mean, everybody talks about the NFL, the NBA, all these major league sports being rigged, but when a YouTuber, or, I really should call him a professional boxer at this point, the dude's been professionally training to be a boxer for a couple of years now, a professionally trained boxer fights against a retired MMA wrestling-style fighter, I might add, a wrestling-style fighter in the MMA. He's 12 years older than Jake Paul, mind you. He's also in dad bod formation. Like, this guy is not in shape whatsoever, and it's just like, what in God's name is this fight? This Ben Askren has no freaking reason fighting this match other than the fact that it's going to give Jake Paul clout, and he's going to get paid a lot of money. It's a win-win for both sides. And guess what? Ben Askren walks out with maybe a minor concussion, a little bit of a headache, and maybe at worst a broken nose, which I don't even think he suffered, but that's at worst what he might have suffered. Yeah, so this fight was most certainly rigged. Like I said, I didn't pay to watch it. I don't usually watch this shit. I certainly didn't go and find it on some pirated website. I just don't care. I really don't, especially when Jake Paul's involved. I could not care any less when Jake Paul is involved. But I saw it afterwards because, of course, it's all over my Twitter timeline, and I'm force-fed. It's literally like I'm a baby in a high chair. I'm getting force-fed this Jake Paul fight, and I'm looking at it, and it literally barely lasted 2 minutes, and Jake Paul's just throwing this right hook, and Ben Askren hits the deck, and that's it. That's the fight. It's just like, how pathetic. How damn pathetic do people have to be at this point? This is what entertainment is becoming. Like, it's actually kind of sad. Like, boxing is a very, very hard, respectable, extremely great sport. But when people like Jake Paul enter it, fight guys that are not worthy opponents, rig it, and for clout and for money, it just takes away from the integrity and the dignity behind the game of boxing, the sport of boxing. It's just dumb. And the other way I want to quickly talk about it is, if you somehow do not think this fight was rigged, if you for some reason think this was done with full integrity, full honesty, you think this was an honest-to-God fight, Ben Askren went in there with every intention to win that fight, if you believe that, that's fine. But let me tell you one thing. If you're giving Jake Paul any credit for this fight, for this win, now that he's 3-0 in his professional boxing career, if you're giving him any sort of credit, you need to be checked into a hospital, because this is the last fight that he should be getting credit. He hasn't fought a real boxer yet. Do I have to explain how Ben Askren is not a worthy opponent against, like I said, Jake Paul, who has been professionally training to be a boxer for a few years now? How is that a worthy opponent? Jake Paul is in his athletic prime. At the age of 24, you're not getting any more athletic than you are at this age, the prime age of 24 years old. Ben Askren is 36. He was an MMA fighter who is 12 years older than Jake Paul, right? He was a wrestling-style MMA fighter, meaning he did not throw punches very much. He was going to grab, he was going to grapple you, he was going to hold you, he's going to choke you out. That is what a wrestling-style fighter does in the MMA. Obviously, in boxing, it's all hands. You're not wrestling nobody when it comes to boxing. Obviously, Ben Askren has not been trained to be a boxer, and he was retired for 2 years from professional fighting in the first place. So he was just retired. The dude was not in shape. This fight was the furthest thing from anything to be proof of Jake Paul being a decent fighter. The dude has yet to face anybody that is a worthy opponent. And if you think Ben, I don't know, this fight was just an absolute joke. And I wouldn't make a video about it if I wasn't being force-fed it like baby food down my throat on my damn timeline. It just pisses me off because this dude, Jake Paul, has all the confidence in the world. You just know this dude is sitting in his multi-million-dollar house, just sitting back with 3 bitches probably sitting beside him, and he's just like, yeah, I'm 3-0 in my professional boxing. He's probably just walking around acting like he's the biggest, baddest dude on planet Earth, when in all reality, dude, you beat a retired dad, dude. Like, you literally beat a retired dad that wrestled for his entire career. Like, congratulations. How is that fulfilling? Who am I to be upset about it? Who am I to be mad? I'm not the one challenging Jake Paul. I'm not challenging Ben Askren. It's just so amazing to me that people continuously buy into this bullshit, that people are willing to waste their time watching this, and they get so caught up in it, they bet money on it. It's just amazing that people just waste their time with this shit still, and they give people like Jake Paul the clout, the attention, everything he's looking for in this type of scenario, and they give it to him. They literally hand it to him on a silver platter, and he gets paid for it, and he gets all the attention in the world, and he's known as a great bot. Like, it's just, why do people do this? Why do people give fame to people that just, like, I don't know. I figured this wouldn't be a very long video, but I just had to talk about it. I was just disgusted. I had some people actually trying to tell me that Ben Askren was a worthy opponent, and they didn't even think it was rigged in the first place. Like, I was actually, like, dumbfounded that there were actually people that, you know, even think this wasn't rigged and think that Ben Askren was a worthy opponent. I can't believe these people even exist, but why? My question is why? And like I said, to be quite honest with you, I never watch this shit ever. I don't watch the MMA. I don't watch boxing. I don't get involved, even when it comes to the professionals that are actually doing it because they want to better their career and they're not doing it for clout, for fame, for money. They're actually doing it because they have respect for themselves. I don't even pay attention to that. But when people give it so much attention that I follow the regular big sports accounts, you know, Bleacher Report, the Check Down, all these other bullshit accounts, and of course it's just being literally shoved down my throat, a fistful of Jake Paul content being shoved down my throat. I have nothing but, there's nothing I can do but talk about it. I mean, I just am forced to have an opinion and forced to realize, and after 5 minutes of research, realize that Ben Askren was not a worthy opponent. It's rigged, etc., etc. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but stop wasting your money on this shit. Like, I don't know. I forgot to say, you know, the drill, Mott's applesauce, per usual. Everybody knows the drill around here. I forgot to mention at the beginning because I'm so wound up. This was just a sad, pathetic thing that you want to call a pay-per-view event, that you want to call a fight. There's just nothing else to it. It was a pathetic excuse for professional fighting. It was a pathetic excuse for an entertainment, for a source of entertainment. Like, how is this fun to watch? Like, I mean, yeah, he drops in 2 seconds. It's exciting for about 5 seconds. And then you're like, wow, okay, fight's over. Now what? No, now what? You go to fucking bed. So that's my opinion on it. I would assume that, I'm not sure how many of my subscribers or how many of my viewers are actually, you know, they watch this stuff, but I'm assuming that you were force-fed this content just the same way I was, even though you just don't pay attention to it whatsoever. I'm sure it was shoved down your throat anyway, because that's just how the internet works. But anyway, that's my opinion about it. I know I'm not the only one. I'm probably in the majority at this point, but for the minority that actually think this was done with integrity, for the majority, or for the minority, I should say, that think this was a fair fight, you just need to do about 5 minutes of research and you will find out quickly why this fight was a load of shit. So I want to know what you think about the fight down below. Any other thoughts you may have, as per usual, leave them down in the comments below. I look forward to talking to you guys, but I will be back this week with a couple more videos. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. If you want to hit the bell to be notified when I upload, I would appreciate that. If you want to go over to Twitter, follow me over there, I would appreciate that as well. But I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.